INEC for the elections. Haven't they passed already? The date for the presidential National Assembly elections, was it February what? February something. I don't know to remember. And the dates for the state House of Assembly elections, and governorship elections, the dates originally set, hasn't that passed already? Wasn't it March 11? What is Di talking about? So if you know and you remember what elections I'm talking about, send me a message via WhatsApp on 0809 030 What elections am I talking about? But it's election week anyways, and that's happening this Saturday. More on that in a moment after I get the appropriate response or responses via WhatsApp. Once again, via 0809 030 Do I wait for that response or do I move on with this? Do I wait for that? Okay, I guess it will come in a moment. You're probably typing that response right now, so I'll move on while I wait the response. But it's election week, as we've got elections coming up this weekend. Yes, we do. Anyways. More on that, in the course of today's discussion, so I'll tell you all about that later on. But how about a quick preview of what to expect on today's edition of the show? So I've got side comments coming up shortly, random stories and random thoughts of mine and them. We're not discussing those right now, much later on after the major news at 6 p.m. I'll take your thoughts on my side comment and every other matter discussed on the show today. Immediately after the side comment, I've got a round coming up, something in my mind. I'll express some thoughts on it. I'd like to get your take on mine till 4. Business news is at 4 p.m. and, we'll have a discussion. Yes, we will. Absolutely will, as always. Let's see. Oh, allegedly, reports have it, information reaching me indicate that the River State students or students in River State and the River State government have a date. Oh yeah. Allegedly, of course. Allegedly, reports indicate that they have a date. They are going out on a date, and this information suggests that this date has been set for tomorrow. Reportedly, if information reaching me is anything to go by. Speaking of information reaching me, this has been circulating on social media platforms. Let's see. Greetings, friends. My pleasure to inform you that the governor of Rivers State has scheduled to meet with students at the Obiwale Conference Center PH on Tuesday, March 14, 2023. I am one of those persons tasked to invite people for the event, and provisions have been made for free bus transportation and cash gifts for participants. This event is aimed by the governor to directly interface with the student community, and it is an interactive session to entertain one-on-one question and answer between students and the governor. You are specially invited and are given the privilege to come along with maximum 10 persons to the event. Buses will be parked at the IAUE school gate at 7 a.m. Recall the event is scheduled for Tuesday, March 14, 2023 at Obiwale Conference Center. The buses move at 7:15 a.m. Thanks. There's a name here which I will not read out. But that's the information that's making the rounds, by the way. I don't know if you got an IV or you were invited along for this date, but that's it. We'll take a look at the situation in the 4 o'clock hour, and I'll be asking you if this proposed meeting, this alleged reported date for tomorrow, is in the interest of students in River State. I'll get your take on that. But also I'll be having guests for the conversation. Endwell Otono, State Chairman, STP Campaign Council, Students Wing, River State, will join me. Also, Precious Simon, President, National Union of River State Students, NERS Worldwide, they both join me for that conversation in the 4 o'clock hour. Takes us to 5. We've got the news update coming up at 5 p.m. And after that, let's see. Is the judiciary the last hope of the governors? Oh, yeah. You know that saying. A very popular, familiar expression that the judiciary is the last hope of the common man. I'm sure governors are asked, possibly using that same expression as well. And I'm asking a question, is the judiciary the last hope of the governors or the common governors? I don't know. A story here from Punch. Governors give Malami Emefiele Tuesday ultimatum to obey Supreme Court. State governments, which sued the federal government on the Naira redesign policy, have given the AGF, Abubakar Malami, SAN, and the CBN Governor Gordon Emefiele till Tuesday to comply with the order of the Supreme Court on the currency. The state governments threatened to file contempt charges against the two top officials on Tuesday should they fail to obey the Apex Court, which ordered that the old 1,000 naira, 500 naira and 200 naira should be in circulation alongside the new notes to December 31, 2023. Now, over 1 week after the court handed down the order, the AGF and the CBN have kept mum over the verdict. And their silence has emboldened Nigerians and businesses to reject the old notes as legal tender. We'll take a look at this development in the 5 o'clock hour. I'll be asking you then, amongst the questions, what's the implication of this ultimatum issued by the governors? Also, Barrister Richard Bokocha, Associate Professor, Public Law at the Rivers State University, joins me for that conversation in the 5 o'clock hour. We've got headlines 5:30 p.m. Jamaica News comes up top of the hour at 6 p.m. And a recap of all the matters discussed on the show today is up after that during the open season segment till about 7 o'clock when we wrap up discussions on the show today. So that's it. That's a preview of today's show. But I asked the question earlier on. I asked what elections coming up this weekend. Got responses already. Gubernatorial, State House of Assembly, March 18th. That's from Michael. State House of Assembly election, governorship election as well. Let's see. Gubernatorial election, of course, that should have held on the 11th of March, but for the postponement, that is the governorship. Okay, all right. Okay, I got the responses already. That's it. Basically, that's it. That's what's happening on Saturday, and I hope that you're prepared to cast your vote during the elections. I very much hope so. But we get things going now with today's side comments, random stories, random thoughts that caught my attention as I checked out the news today. Do I have any of those right now? I suppose I do. Let's see. This is a sad one. More taxi drivers are now calling for the scrapping of the Rivers State Task Force. They made the call during a protest today after their colleague died following an altercation with officials of the task force over the weekend. Let's take a listen to what the taxi drivers had to say about this development. Just a moment. Oops, pardon me. I was literally typing nothingness. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, something's not right here. Development, I'm not saying. I feel extremely heartbroken by this. Really, I do. Very, very much so. However, earlier, one of the protesting drivers told our correspondent that 3 of the commercial drivers were arrested by security operatives during the protest, which started in Rumoko but extended to Rupoko part of the city. He called on the authorities to intervene, insisting the protest was peaceful. Secretary of the Drivers Welfare Association, Aloha Coleman, spoke in this. Do I have time to play that? Let's see if I can. I have got a commercial break coming up shortly. Let's see if I can. All right, let's see how that one goes.
Most of them are not even recognized in that area. So somebody will just put on apron and they come out to the road and they start harassing drivers. So for me, I am saying that from now, that there shall be no more WIKE task force as well as that of National Union, because they are a kind of interwoven. They work together. They work together in order to do what they frustrate driver. They have sent many drivers to village. You understand? When they meet you 2 times, they don't even require a token. It's just huge amount of money. Right. So because of that, you just plan to go home. You plan to go back to village.
All right. There are a number of issues here all. In fact, there's so many issues encompassed in one, all bottled up in one here. And if I had seen this story earlier, when I was preparing for the show today, this may have been today's rant if I had seen it earlier. But I'll take my time still. Today's rant is something is very important, but maybe I can gloss over it a bit, somewhat. Let's start with this. Let's go to the start of this story. More taxi drivers are now calling for the scrapping of the Rivers State Task Force. Let's start with that sentence. I mean, no offense to anyone. Maybe there are some decent human beings working in that task force. But the impression that comes to mind whenever you see the task force, the first impression that comes to mind is robbers, thieves, hoodlums. I mean, you can't see that task force, and the first thing that comes to your mind is law, order, rightness, justice, equity, fairness. No, those kinds of words or expressions cannot come to your mind when you see this task force. They go about in rickety-looking trucks that look like they should be scrapped, not even sold or refurbished. They look like they should be scrapped. But they look like they went to a scrap shop or a scrap yard and then just slammed some metal together, and then voila, a truck emerged or something. It looks like the Frankenstein of trucks, really. If you know what Frankenstein is, that's what those vans, those trucks look like, yeah. And then the task force officials themselves, they look. Okay, I'm trying to be civil here. I'm very much trying to be civil here. But they look terrifying. That was not the word I was going to use earlier. They look terrifying. They look like they want to dispossess you of something. That's what it look like. When you see them, they look like they are going about like a roaring lion, seeking whom they can dispossess of something, anything, as a matter of fact. And to think that those are the kinds of persons, that is an agency of government. Not outlaws, not people taking the laws into their own hands, not some renegade ragamuffins or bandits, as it were, but a creation of government. The chief enforcer of law and order. So there's so much wrong with the task force in itself, really. I mean, like I said, you just see them and you just feel like these people are up and about, going about trying to dispossess me of something, anything, You don't think that you don't feel glad when you see them. And then, now, why are the drivers making a call for the scrapping of these persons? They had a protest. The colleague died following an altercation with officials of the task force over the weekend. And that's very sad. And my deepest heartfelt condolences to the families or the family of this deceased driver. But is it, as sad as this is it surprising? Are we astounded by it? Are we taken aback? Is it incredulous? No, the answer is no. No to all of those questions. There's nothing surprising about it. It was inevitable that somebody would die at the hands of the task force. It was always going to happen. Like I said, they go about, you just see them and you feel like they want to dispossess you of anything. And they have a track record of dispossessing people of their lives also. They've done it before. So it is not surprising that, hey, they have done it again. They not only dispossess people of their hard-earned money, for no unjust reasons, by the way, they also have formed the habit, supposedly, of dispossessing people of their lives as well. Like I said, they've done it before. And guess what? Unsurprisingly, they have done it again. They've done it again. But it's not nuclear physics. This wasn't hard to envisage. It was always going to happen. And it's happened again. And if government does nothing about it, they will do it again. They will dispossess somebody else of their life in the not too distant future. It's going to happen again. It's not rocket science, really. It's not difficult figuring this one out. But of course, governments in Nigeria have a knack of not being able to figure out something that everybody else has figured out. Government is usually the last to know, and sometimes never even knows, or at least claims to not know. Let's take a listen to what one of the drivers had to say regarding the experiences, or the ordeals more like it, at the hands of these hoodlums, really, in my estimation.
We don't want task force at Rupoku at Grita. We don't need any task force again. From Rumokro to Rupoku to that Grita, we don't need any task force.
Every other state, their annual tax is not up to 5,000 naira. But here in Rumokro, we pay more than 580,000 naira annually. Not only that, when you come to this Port Harcourt, governor approve only one ticket, which is 300 naira for smaller motor, then 400 naira for bigger motor. But all the whole local government in Rivers State have went and produced so many tickets. Not just only that, sticker everywhere.
And question does arise, what is the state government doing about that? Or does the government not know that one also? You know, I must have said this a gazillion times. How that in Nigeria, people with a job to know. I mean, everybody knows something. Everybody knows a particular thing. Literally everybody does. But the one person whose job it is to know, as a matter of fact, the only reason that person has a job and is being paid a salary is to know that thing. By some miraculous turn of events, those persons never know. They never know anything. And that is the perfect depiction of governments and institutions in Nigeria. They just don't know. They just don't know. They're completely clueless, bereft of any information or knowledge as regards what's going on. I mean, government ought to know. I remember the River State Internal Revenue Service, then under Mr. Adoage Norte, when he was heading that agency, did its best to harmonize these taxes for commercial transporters. Did its best, created a brilliant scheme that would not only increase government revenue, would reduce incidents like people dying. You understand? Will reduce people dying, you know, and would be good for everyone. You know, the transporters will pay their taxes, government raises revenue, there's no harassment anywhere, everyone's happy, everyone lives well. But somehow, the same governments that set this up, or the same governments, and I use governments in plural here, including the local governments, are the ones that destroyed it as well. It's almost like governments in Nigeria are against anything that works. How can it work? Why should it work? Why must the people be comfortable? Why must the transporters have a good life? Why should they work from morning till night and take home some good money, pay the owners of their vehicles, and take home some good money to their family members? Why should that happen? Why should they live like human beings? Why should they be able to send their children to school and feed their families and provide a roof over their... Why should that happen? Under our watch, God forbid, that cannot happen. That should not happen. What should happen is we're going to harass them. We're going to intimidate them. We're going to extort them. We're going to exploit them. We're going to impoverish them. We're going to feed fat over them, so much so that they're going to close shop and some of them will go back to their villages. That's what's going to happen. And government does nothing. Government does absolutely nothing because government does not know. Because government cannot know. Or government pretends to not know. And now someone's dead. Another person's dead. It's happened again. And when the people are about destroying lives and property, the police will not be there. And now innocent citizens have come out and they're saying, we want this to stop. And the police there receiving intelligence reports. Intelligence report was flying everywhere. I think there was a slight drizzle this morning. I don't know. Maybe it was an intelligence report that was falling from the sky. Intelligence reports everywhere. And then we reports have it that some persons 3 of the commercial drivers were arrested by security. I'm sure they got an intelligence report that those 3 drivers were sponsored by ISIS, allegedly, or Hezbollah, to disrupt the peace that we are enjoying in River State, in our dear River State, to disrupt the peace. Intelligence report everywhere. They never get intelligence report when the hoodlums in the guys of task force are perpetrating their crime. There's no intelligence then. In fact, the world is devoid of intelligence during that period. But when innocent civilian citizens say, we can't do this anymore. This is killing us. You have to put a stop to this. Intelligence everywhere. Intelligence all over the place. People start pretending to be intelligent. It's a sad one. How government responds to this, however, remains to be seen. And also, will the family of this driver get, some of those millions from the state government? I don't know, just asking, considering that, the person didn't just die. The person died at the hand of agents of the state government. Will the family left behind get a check of, 20 million, or even if it's 10 million, they'll manage 10 million, I suppose. Just asking. Very sad indeed. And once again, if nothing is done about this, and when I say not just removing one head and replacing the head with another head, no, that's happened before, but it still killed someone. If nothing tangible is done to address this dispossessing task force, they're going to kill again. Someone's going to die again at the hands of these so-called task force officials. Also, another matter on the news earlier today, former chairman of the Labour Party in Rivers State, D.A. Pepple, has justified his decision to endorse the governorship candidate of the PDP, Sim Fubara. And that's, if you want to, anybody can endorse who they want to endorse or support who they want to support. What is most right about the same interview on the Morning Crossfire today, he alleged that the PDP rigged the presidential election in the state and said his decision to endorse the PDP government candidate was based on his interest. Oh my goodness. Oh my. What better way to announce to the whole world that I have absolutely no morals at all? Well, I do wish him the very best anyways. I do have to wrap up the side comments in a moment. I'm not sure there's any. I think there were one or two other matters that caught my attention earlier, but a lot of time spent already on this, so I think I'll leave those for now. I'm seeing a lot of messages here and folks talking about the Arsenal moment. And yes, Arsenal, great game of the weekend. Fulham, I think was Fulham. Arsenal won the game. Fulham 0, Arsenal 3. Great performance from it was a fantastic exhibition game, really, from the Arsenal side, from the Gunners, ensuring that they're able to maintain their 5-point lead against rivals, major rivals this season, I suppose. Manchester City, who are in 61 points with 27 matches played. Arsenal with 66 points from 27 matches played. 11 games to go before the season comes to an end. It was a brilliant performance. And ordinarily, because the people have been asking for it, we would have an Arsenal moment right now. Ordinarily. If the circumstances were normal, if we did not have the task force who are going about seeking whom to dispossess, if we didn't have that task force, we would be celebrating Arsenal's fantastic victory right now. We would have ourselves an Arsenal moment. But, with respect to the memory of the driver who reportedly was killed by the River State Task Force people, we will not have an Arsenal moment today in respect of the memory of that, the slain driver, there will be no Arsenal moment today. I'll go for a break. When I return, today's round comes off. Do please stay with us.
You are
with Dion.
Hello, welcome back. It is Hard Facts in Nigeria Info and here in Port Harcourt. I'm Dion. We're your number one talk station. Let's talk. I'd like to rant for just a bit. Something in my mind. I'll express some thoughts and I'd like to get your take on mine as well, all the way to 4 p.m. I know you probably have a thing or two to say about the task force fellows I talked about a while ago. And like I said, like the story tells us as well, they've reportedly killed someone again. We'll talk a lot about that or more about that later on during the open season segment today. That's after the 6 p.m. news. I hope you join me for that at that period. However, today's rant is going to be a brief one. It's a short one, I hope, I suppose. And with due respect to everyone, you might refer to it as an adult education class. Today's rant. Adult education, distinct from child education, is a practice in which adults engage in systematic and sustained self-educating activities in order to gain new forms of knowledge, skills, attitudes, or values. That's from Coetzee Wikipedia. Encyclopedia Britannica says adult education, also called continuing education, is any form of learning undertaken by or provided for mature men and women. So today's very short rant is an adult education class or continuing education class. Once again, with due respect, because adult education is a good thing. And I have the utmost respect for anyone, any adult who is undergoing or who has enrolled in adult class, adult education or continuing education class. It takes a lot of courage to do that, I suppose. And today's adult education class is for those adults who don't understand the importance of voting in elections. Let me describe those adults to you right now. They were the ones that were shouting before the presidential and national assembly elections. There's nothing he can do. There's nothing he can. That's how they talk, by the way. No offense to them as well. I'm not trying to make a mockery of them. But that's what they usually say. There's nothing he can do. There's nothing he can do. There's no need for any of us to go to vote because there's nothing he can do. And also, you probably heard them lately as well saying, you say we should go and vote the last time. What happened? What beavers do? What happened the last time? Why you say we go and vote? Say we go and vote. We go and vote. Those are the people I'm referring to as well. So this class is designed for you especially, since you're an adult and you don't understand the importance of voting. You know how they always say we want information, enlightenment. You don't need enlightenment. You need an education. I mean, someone who is educated might need, but enlightenment does nothing for you if you have no education. You cannot comprehend enlightenment if you're not educated. If you don't understand that 1 + 1 = 2, how will you understand that one bread plus a loaf of bread plus another loaf of bread equals 2 loaves of bread? You can't get that. You must first understand the concept of arithmetic, that 1 + 1 is 2. So you'll understand that if someone gives you 1 loaf today and gives you another loaf tomorrow, they've given you 2 loaves of bread. So you must be educated first before you can be enlightened. You don't need enlightenment. You need an education. And that's why I have taken it upon myself to educate you today. Because since you're an adult once again, I don't understand the importance of education. After all the enlightenment you have received, after all the discussions on Nigeria Info, all the discussions on other media outlets, both radio, broadcast media outlets, radio, TV, after all the discussions everywhere, after all the discussion, all the materials printed, newspaper everywhere, after the National Orientation Agency has done what it can, other agencies have done what they can, everybody has done what they can. People have begged you, they have pleaded with you, they have explained to you, they have cautioned you, they have tried to enlighten you. They don't even know it didn't work. Then I received, it was like a eureka moment today, when it dawned on me that what you are lacking is an education. Elections are important. Elections determine your life, how your life turns out. And maybe one of the reasons you're lacking in that election education right now is because you have consistently voted wrongly. Or you have been singing that mantra, there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. The elections are coming up again. Another round of elections are coming up. This time the governorship and House of Assembly elections. The outcome of those elections affect your life. The price of garri in the market, the price of rice in the market, the price of beans, house rent, everything, transportation. Now, even if the last elections, the presidential, National Assembly, may have been fraught with some irregularities, it's not the reason to not vote or be active, take part actively in the next round of elections. It's not a reason. So if you have a car, for example, and the car breaks down on you, do you just leave the car right there in the middle of the road and you walk away because the car broke down? No, you don't do that. What you do is you get a mechanic and you fix it. When you fix that car, does it mean it can't break down again tomorrow? Of course it can. What you do when it breaks down again, here's what you do. You get a mechanic again and you fix it again. That's what you do. You fix it. You don't leave your car there in the middle of the road because it broke down on you. No, nobody does that. You fix it. And it's your responsibility to fix it. It's not any other person's responsibility. It's your responsibility. So if something's wrong with your country, you have a responsibility to fix it. One way you can fix it is to take part in the elections. And vote sensibly. And put your hunger in check for a moment and don't collect 1,000 or 2,000 naira. And vote sensibly. That's what you do. You fix it. This Saturday, governorship, State House of Assembly elections. Go out and fix your country. Go out and fix your state. Vote sensibly. Vote wisely. Today's rant is not enlightening. I'm not enlightening. There's no enlightenment today. There's no enlightening anybody. Go and vote. And if you like, don't vote. You keep calling Nigeria Info for another 4 years, saying you people should help us and tear them. You people should help us and tear them. On that note, I end my rant. Thanks for listening. Hope you went bored. Let's get your token mine. Call 070-0923-0923. 070-0923-0923. We're live on facebook.com/Nigeria Info PH. We're live on Twitter at Nigeria Info PH. Let's get your take on mine. Drop a comment or call the number. And remember as well, once the call is answered, do please turn off your radio set. It's expedient that you do so, else we cannot have a conversation. Just trying to confirm if there's 0700. Okay, it is active. Let's go to its train. Hello, Hard Factor, welcome. Please go on.
Hello.
All right, go ahead.
Good afternoon.
Go ahead. Turn off your radio set. 070-093-093. And do please be reminded, once you call into a live radio show, once the call is answered and you're live on radio, you must turn off your radio set. Else you can't have a conversation, basically. Okay, that's it. Via Twitter at AnnaBarry6 tweets, good day. Truly, elections are important. It doesn't matter the negative things that people are predicting for this election that's coming on Saturday. I will go out, cast my vote, vote a candidate of my choice. Thank you. You're welcome, Anna. Hello, you're welcome. Go ahead. 9213.
Hello, Dayo. Good afternoon.
All right, go ahead.
Hello.
Hello, go ahead, please.
Thank you. My name is Muriel. Dayo, thank you. This is just like an advice. Is very apt at this moment. When I heard that some persons, because their preferred candidate didn't win, they broke their PVCs and the rest. I began to wonder. I say, it's just like you're fighting for your child, for the future of your child, and you got beaten once. Immediately you retreat, you stop, and you just backed out. How can you be a father like that, or a parent, such a parent? So I think everybody should go.
All right, they're just gone. Hello, Hard Fight 2, welcome. Please go on.
Hello, good afternoon.
All right, go ahead.
Dayo, good afternoon.
You're welcome. Go ahead, please.
Dayo, the problem is not for the voters. The problem is INEC. INEC should try to do the right thing. When people come out to vote, when they have put their conscience, INEC should try to do the right thing.
Yes, INEC should try to do the right thing, but that's very important. Well, what I'm saying is, you have a responsibility as well. You have a responsibility to go out and vote. Also, that's the point I'm making.
And they vote their conscience, but when you reach the time to call the vote, you manipulate everything to give another person. That is not the way to fix a country. You understand? That's not the way to fix a country. When people come out to vote, they vote their conscience. Come the result there. Let the people know who passed there, who fought for that.
Yes, but before that result can be called, people have to come out to vote, right?
Yeah.
Exactly my point. So go out and vote so that the results will be called. The right result. Hello, you're welcome. Go ahead.
Hello, Simon from Eneka.
Go ahead, Simon.
Last election was rigged. So more reason for me to go out again and vote. So I want to vote so that those people... Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Simon.
Okay. Last election was rigged. And one of the reasons why I want to go out again, because I'm angry. So I want to go out again and vote against those people that doesn't want the country to move forward. It is obvious. If we don't vote, task force are going to kill us. If we don't vote, we're not going to get employed. If we don't vote, we are defeated. It means those people that are doing those things will have it in mind that, these people will scare them away. So we have to come out and vote. Let's be resilient. We have to keep trying. We have to keep trying. Keep on trying. Keep on trying. As long as we are alive, there's hope. So we have to vote. Let's do our own part.
All right, good to hear from you, Simon. I've got a commercial break shortly. And like I said, for the rest of this week till the elections on Saturday, I'm not enlightening anybody. Anybody that does not have enlightenment already will not receive enlightenment between now and Saturday. If you're an adult, you're 18 years old and older, and you don't have enlightenment till now, well, I wish you well. I wish you well. No enlightenment. Don't go if you don't want to. You will keep calling Nigerian folk for the next few people. You push your apples and tell them. You push your apples and tell them. They actually tell them that they can do. You'll be looking for 100 naira to recharge your line, so you can call Nigerian for the say push your apples and tell them for the next 4 years. Like I said, once again, no enlightenment for me. With a commercial break, I'll return shortly. Please stay with us.
Sincerely, I don't want to wait till I graduate from this school before I think of what to do with my life.
Exactly. I am going to seriously work on my music skills. Let me use my talent well, I beg.
I would like to